So I have this Sixaxis from the other video that I tried to fix a lot of different DualShocks, where this left thumbstick sometimes gets stuck in different positions and does not come back to the center. So I said that I was going to try and find a different controller, a Sixaxis as well, to try and swap the joysticks. And I did found one that is in a really bad shape. This was from a flea market, and it has been chewed up on the thumbsticks and everywhere around the controller, either by an animal or by its previous owner. It has been opened before because one of the screws is different from the original ones. So let's try and open this one to make a good controller. So with the controller opened, we can see the parts on the inside. This is the original one. As you can see, the big Toshiba chip makes it very real, because the fake ones, they don't have this chip. It's several different others. And the battery, it seems to be original, at least, because the first models, they brought these batteries on it. And unfortunately, this is not translucent as the other is, so we may have an issue here because the models are different apparently. But we will see what we can get. So let's then give it a test to see if all the buttons are pressed properly and if we don't have any drift on the joysticks. As you can see, it's connected. So let's test all the buttons. Joysticks, they look good, and the buttons seem to be all pressing as well, which makes this board a very good one. The board and the flex that we have on this controller are very healthy, although it looks horrible from the outside. So this is good. I was just pressing here the PS button, so everything looks to be fine. So let's then remove the screw that holds this board in place, and we remove this board from the controller chassis to reveal the flex cable. And carefully we turn it around and see our flex cable over here. Let's remove these battered joysticks and also these button pads that are a bit sticky. You will need to address that later on. So let's then open the first controller. The board seems to be very similar. Let's do a comparison here. So yeah, it is similar, but it's different. So let's see if we have any luck to change components here. So upon looking, the boards, they have a difference here on the plastic that holds them on to the flex cable. So the first one that had the sticky joystick, so this one here has a plastic bit where the sensor for the Sixaxis, I think it is held on, and the other one just has a little tab that holds this same sensor, so the socket for this on the chassis will be different. So I don't think that replacing motherboards will be possible, and I also think that if I try to replace the joysticks, I will just melt them, because this is unleaded solder, so it will take a very high temperature to remove, and I will probably melt the joysticks, and I will end up ruining two controllers. So the chances here are that I will not be able to do what I was thinking to do, and won't be able to swap the boards or the joysticks. But let's take a better look on it. So just to save you a bunch of minutes of me just looking around, trying to sort things out to make it work, I just ended up quitting what I was thinking about doing and just cleaned the controller that was on a really bad shape, and ended up putting it together and placing new joysticks on it. And since it was working very good, I will just keep it as is, and will try to see if I manage to fix the other one. So this is just me basically going through in 20 times as fast speed on the video, putting it back together and cleaning it. So yeah, that's what I ended up doing. I just cleaned the controller that was on a really bad shape and put it back together with new joysticks, and we'll try to fix the other one again. And here it is, looking good, although it's very chewed up on the chassis. So let's just put the screws all back on it. As for the controller that had the sticky joystick, I will look into it better and try to sort out the reason why it's sticking, because this apparently seems to be in a normal shape, so I don't understand why the springs don't bring it back to center if it's pointing towards the northeast and northwest. As if you compare it to the other one on this side, you can see that the little copper things that I think are the springs, they are a little bent on top. If you see, this one here is straight. Now it does an arch, and this one here, it does not, it's straight. So this may be one of the possible causes. This, as it's straight, it's probably putting a bit more pressure on the top side, and when we pull the joystick towards the left and the right up, it is staying there because of the pressure it makes, and on this one that does not happen. So let's try to pull those a little bit and see if this helps us have it a little better. So let's then use this screwdriver to pull this spring a little bit up to undo that reversed arch that it had, to see if we manage to clear it a little bit. As we can see here, the one on the left side is a little bit higher, and the one on the right side you can clearly see by the reflexes that it's been pulled down. I don't know how this can happen, but maybe it has been thrown on the ground or something and made it bend. as you can see there. This is where the spring attaches to. So here with a bit of light we can see a little bit better the inside of this joystick. Let me just try to focus. It's hard to focus this close to the phone. So there. We can see there where this spring is attached to and where it is applying a lot more pressure than it should, and thus the reason why it is not working properly. So let's try to fix this and make it work again. And then after applying a little bit of pressure up to remove this bend, I think we successfully fixed this joystick. It was a mechanical issue, not an electronic issue, but well, it was an issue anyway. So let's put the joystick and test it to see how bad it is. So it has been worse, so I'd say this is a win. So here it is. We have, instead of one controller, two working controllers. Unfortunately, this is looking a little bit bad, and this is looking much better. It still sticks, but not as worse as it was. As you can see, just the top left stays sticking, but this is mostly for movement of the character on this side, so our fingers are normally just on top of it. As you can see, this is a beautiful translucent one, and I would not be happy if this was a failed fix. So here it is. Hope you enjoyed. We have two working controllers. Leave it a like and consider subscribing the channel. I'll see you on the next video.